Hi, everybody. Welcome to Melanated Mondays. My name is Mia Krogavia. And Tim, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Craig. I am a co-artist at BRTW, and we thank you for joining us for another evening of Melanated Mondays.
Yes. So, a little bit about BRTW. BRTW exists to disrupt any and all oppressive systems that marginalize Black people using narrative and performance as a methodology to recenter Black people and experiences. With economic, social, educational, healthcare, housing, and political injustice facing our community, BRTW aims to tackle the issues that impact us while becoming a beacon for Black opportunity within the arts. Melanated Mondays, in particular, is a monthly writing and performance salon highlighting a different theme at the intersection of Black justice and civic engagement. And a few notes, a few thank you notes. This programming was made possible in part with support from Brooklyn Arts Council, Alliance of Resident Theaters New York, and the support of our community. You know, BRTW, we're a free program. People can just log on and join on. So, and a lot of our other programs, like our monthly writers block, is pay what you wish. So, especially during this pandemic, we thrive off of generous donations and word of mouth. So if you want to like talk us up, if you want to talk up our podcast, which we will talk a little bit more about later, that's great. If you want to donate, there's many ways to donate. We'll talk about that later. Um, but yeah, I just want to say thank you all for everything you're doing for us. Um, this month's theme is drugs. Doing drugs. So drugs can be the life-saving, fun, addictive, or harmful. One word represents a spectrum of experiences, but regardless of the substance, both drug use and regulation impact Black communities in unique ways. Today's speaker is Pammy Jackson, founder of the Psychedelic Sisterhood. So, we're gonna jump in, and then after we're done with the pieces that we present tonight, then we're gonna have a conversation with Pammy and the rest of the group. So please be sure to stick around for that. So Tim, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Miyako. I wanted to introduce this first piece. This first piece is The Green Zone Upgrade by H. Harvey. And I will let Miss Akimini Ekpo have us begin. Thank you so much, Akimini.
Green Zone Upgrade by H. Harvey. Setting Brooklyn, not too far from now, when the perils of climate change have enabled environmental ghettoization and the preservation of gentrified neighborhoods through the technological marvel of green zoning. Leroy, read by Cassinuel Leonidas Jr., Cass, read by Jasmine Boone, Doctor and Security Guard, read by Tim Craig, PAs, Drones, and Robots, read by Miyako Gavia, and Stage Directions, read by Akemini Ekpo. Establishing shot. Exterior, day. An ultra-modern hospital, Prospect Park, visible beyond. And further, nearer than the horizon, a shimmering green zone encompassing an entire Brooklyn neighborhood. Cut to a digital billboard showing a smiling Black construction worker with dreadlocks, giving the thumbs up besides a white man in a suit. A scroll reads, "A vote for Mayor Reynolds is a vote for Green Zone heroes." Zoom in through a window. Leroy Yateman, the Black construction worker from the billboard, fidgets in a paper hospital gown atop an examination table.
The doctor is experiencing longer than usual wait times. Thank you for your patience.
The man examines his surroundings. His eyes land on an eyesight testing board.
Quick brown fucks jumped over the lazy dog.
The door opens.
Good, good. You're already getting started with the pangram.
Yeah.
You're the guy from the billboards, right? The Green Zone hero.
I mean, I worked construction.
Yeah, I'd be humbled too if I was one of the most famous faces in Brooklyn. I'm a big Mayor Reynolds supporter. Whole family is. I mean, the Heroes campaign. You all deserve to be right here. We believe that.
Yeah, me too.
You live around here?
No, Flatbush. I applied, but since I'm unemployed,
Oh,
that's why I'm here, actually. I can't work because of my condition. A lot of us are here that are sick, and we can't do anything
yeah,
unless...
I heard about that. That's why we're holding a fundraiser for the Reynolds this weekend.
Funny. It seemed like he had enough money when I met him.
Uh, Aphasia, right?
You tell me.
The doctor reviews Leroy's chart.
Yes, possible conduction aphasia.
I guess you told me, huh?
Due to a stroke resulting in a moderate neurological trauma.
Moderate? I have a permanent...
Semi-permanent.
Wait, what?
You don't need a doctor.
Wait, here we go.
Every first-gen biotech could clean this right up.
Oh, yeah. That's what my insurance said. But you have to know something
Look,
that...
Mr. Yateman, I know you're uncomfortable, but you're a lucky man. 10, 20 years ago, we could poke around, stick you in an MRI, ship you off to rehab. It'd only be a matter of time. Now, you can just get yourself some biotech.
Wait, but I was...
Like I said, you're a lucky man. You know how much it would cost anyone else to come see me about an issue you can get fixed at a Best Buy?
Cut to outside the clinic. A young woman. He walks away with difficulty and noticeable pain. Cut to the inside of a pod-style hotel.
Welcome to Sea Green. Are you interested in accommodation?
Yeah, just for the night.
Are you a current Green Zone resident?
No, but I have a permit to be inside the green zone.
What is the nature of your visit?
Medical.
Please place your hand here.
Leroy places his hand on the scanner.
Leroy Yateman, you are not cleared for Green Zone accommodation. Please vacate the Green Zone before sundown.
Are you serious? I have an appointment at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Please vacate the Green Zone before sundown.
Before sundown. Yeah.
Thank you for choosing Sea Green.
Cut to Leroy exiting the green zone. A security guard lazily waves him through. Leroy straps on a paper mask. Cut to early the next morning. Leroy, outside the green zone, stands in a long, slow-moving line. A guard stops him.
We're gonna have to check your hair, sir. Now, is there anything that could stick me?
Cut to a pristine office building. Leroy rushes inside.
I have an appointment.
Please place your hand here.
Leroy places his hand on the scanner.
You are 487 seconds late. After 120 seconds, Consumer Health Industries reserves the right to refuse service. You have been allotted a one-time waiver for late arrival. Do not expect this courtesy again. Please follow the green arrows.
He follows a trail of flashing green arrows to a door. He knocks.
Come in. You must be Mr. Leroy Yateman. I've got to say, it's an honor. It's not every day that I meet with a real-life Green Zone hero. Consumer Health Industries deeply appreciates your service. I hope to hear that we've been able to help you along your road to recovery.
Not unless you'll pay for my biotech.
We're happy to approve any medical treatment your doctors recommend. But as you've been notified in response to your previous request, biotech is a consumer good.
That I need for medical treatment.
That distinction is a few notches above my pay grade, but Chai's policy is simple. You aren't prescribed biotech, you purchase it. Therefore, it's out of your wheelhouse. Personally, I'd like nothing more than to see you happy and healthy. Guys like you are the reason why we get to live in a cleaner, safer America. If you ask me, the Green Zone workers deserve a medal.
I don't need a medal. I just want some relief and to breathe. I'm practically chewing in the air in my neighborhood.
Oh, did you apply to get in? It's my understanding that surviving Green Zone crew members' applications are weighted for approval.
3 times. I always get the review and they always turn me down.
Oh, Oh, that's unfortunate. That's
Your fault. I can't get in because I can't work. I can't work because you won't cover my treatment.
Well, that brings us to the subject of today's meeting. Consumer Health Industries cares about your health, Mr. Yateman. Do you?
Look, I'm here, aren't I?
At least 10 doctors have recommended that you purchase neurobiotech. Our internal review shows that even first gen tech would reverse the effects of your stroke.
No, I can't afford $5,000 tech.
Well, it's cheaper than legal proceedings.
What?
It's our understanding that if you made a reasonable investment in your own wellness, you wouldn't suffer from these nuisances. After all, you're a capable adult, Mr. Yateman. If your doctor recommended more iron-rich food, we expect you to comply. And 10 doctors have recommended neurobiotech.
I can't afford that, but I've been trying to.
Seeking very limited and expensive medical attention for a preventable non-medical nuisance. Consumer Health Industries is therefore at liberty to seek restitution.
Restitution? You want my money?
You've taken advantage of several thousands of dollars worth of our services for free. However, if you're willing to settle this discreetly, we'd be happy to settle for something in the range of 17,000.
I don't have. Look, I can't pay that. I just
If
can't.
we must handle this in courts, I should warn you that your insurance fraud would void your city benefits, including the weighted acceptance to the green zone, free health services, disability, social security benefits.
Leroy sways on his feet. Cash ushers him to sit down.
Mr. Yateman, come, sit down. Listen, I meant what I said about you guys. You're heroes. And the city can't ever thank you enough. I wish I could write you a blank check, but I can make a recommendation. Are you familiar with the off-label biotech?
Cut to Leroy exiting the green zone. He straps on a paper mask and turns down a different path than before.
There's a whole black market for it.
Isn't that stuff illegal?
Leroy approaches a seedy shop with neon lights.
For now, but what's your alternative? I've seen your scans. Your condition is progressive. Your motor skills, speech, they'll continue to degrade.
Leroy enters the shop. A reception bot gears up, but the projection fades. We only hear its glitching voice.
Welcome. How may I help you?
I need biotech.
We have discounted unboxed iBio starting at $4,500.
Cut to Cass with Leroy. She touches his arm.
You will die trapped inside of your own deteriorating body. No hero deserves fate like that.
I'm looking for something more off menu.
Of course. Wait. Hey, wait. Here.
Cut to Leroy at home in a cramped Brooklyn apartment. He holds a syringe over his arm. Cut to Leroy sitting across from Cass.
Just think it over. See me next week. If I can show these suits that you're invested in your health, you can save your money and we can avoid the PR nightmare of dragging a green zone hero to the courts. Can I pencil you in for the same time next week? Great. And just think what a small price to pay to feel better, especially if you're feeling better in the green zone.
Cut to Leroy in his apartment, still holding the syringe over his arm. He looks out of his window and we can see the sun rising over a transparent green dome over Prospect Park before its rays reach the street outside his window. He inserts the needle into his arm. Cut to Cass at a conference table, surrounded by suits.
There's an elephant in the room. Green Zone heroes. They labored in toxic conditions to build pristine, pollution-free paradises that they can't even live in. The least we can do is pay the cost of their health care, right?
Cut to Leroy waking up. He flexes his left arm and begins to walk around his apartment. He smiles.
A little PT here, some inhalers there, right? Wrong. Strokes, heart attacks, organ failures. Roughly 35,000 out of work, quote unquote, heroes are killing our bottom line. So what do? Suck it up? Lay off some staff?
Leroy rushes to his table and grabs a bundle of papers. They're applications to live in the green zone.
No.
Cut to Cass at a conference table. She clicks a button and a slide presentation shows a chart.
More than 60% of the surviving Green Zone construction crew have persistent, untreated neurological trauma that is now solely addressed through expensive consumer technology. These people are deteriorating inside their own bodies and are turning to black market biotech for relief or cure. I'd like to introduce you to Biodentify. This will allow us to scan for unregistered biotech at checkpoints throughout the city. Not only are customers in possession of black market tech breaking the law, they owe us restitution for theft of our own intellectual property and violation of our contract.
Cut to Leroy staring at a beautiful building advertising vacancies inside the green zone. He smiles, goes inside, passing by a television screen. Camera zooms in on the screen, revealing Cass at a press conference shaking the mayor's hand.
The scourge of illegal biotech is responsible for erratic, uncontrollable behavioral anomalies that can reduce any New Yorker to a criminal, subject to their darkest, most depraved whims. More than half of people arrested in the past year were found to be in possession of illegal biotech. Half of the killers, drug dealers, thieves, undermining our beautiful communities. And you have to wonder, what could these people have been without something so dangerous warping their minds? And how many more are right under our noses, in our communities, teaching our children? As a mother, as a neighbor, as a lifelong Brooklynite, I'm proud to stand today and say no to dangerous illegal biotech in my community. And I am thrilled to make this donation on behalf of consumer health industries to the city of New York. Every hospital, municipal building, and police officer will be outfitted with Biodentify technology. And more than $50 million of this life-saving innovation will ensure that our beautiful, resilient community is safer, healthier, and happier.
End of episode.
All right. Thank you to everybody for doing this Green Zone episode. We have another Green Zone episode for you, also by H. Harvey. So without further ado, Akemini, take it away.
Green Zone, Episode 7, 420, by H. Harvey. Cast: Tim Craig reading Terrell, Jasmine Boone reading Cass, Miyako Gavia reading Drones and Miss Jackson, Casagnol Leonidas Jr. reading Boat Shoes and Tanner, and Akemini Ekpo reading Reception and Stage Directions. Terrell sits in an otherwise filled waiting room. He is the only Black person. The two seats on either side of him are empty.
Washington, Dear O, Washington to reception.
Terrell walks up to a desk. A white woman sits on the other side. Smile! She triggers the camera. One moment.
What?
One moment. The printer produces a temp ID card. Suite 4217.
Where?
42nd floor.
Elevator. I was gonna ask, where's the elevator?
Sound. Ding! Terrell arrives on the 42nd floor and knocks on Suite 17's door.
Come in!
Terrell enters.
Mr. Washington, it's an honor and a pleasure.
Is that right?
Oh, I've been following your career for months.
Rikers Act 1, 2, or 3?
The encore, actually. I've got premium seats.
She points to her window. It's the perfect view of one of the Green Zone checkpoints.
You know, 90% of our residents only leave the green zone for travel outside of the tri-state region. We've got everything they need.
Except beaches, apparently.
We're working on that.
Okay.
You can imagine my surprise, Mr. Washington, when I start to see residents leaving the zone and turning that corner. That one, right outside of my window. And then they stop and talk to you.
What can I say? I'm pretty popular.
No. I threw an Alice in Wonderland themed fundraiser for the mayor because I knew the good old boys didn't like too much pastel with their blood money. And it was the most well-attended event in all of the zones last year. I'm popular. Nervous white people sneak out to meet you in full view of my office and piss themselves in terror as they race back home. You're notorious.
So gang recognized gang?
Sure. Game recognized game. So much so that I have a proposition for you.
Nah, you keep that. I'm good.
I'm confident I can persuade you to the contrary.
Look, sister, the devil's got gold wings. These motherfuckers got a green zone. You got a lace front and a guest list. When it's time to sell my soul, I'm aiming higher.
Let me let you in on a secret, Mr. Washington. The only way anyone like you is getting to anyone higher than me is through me. And fortunately for you, I don't want your soul. But I'm happy to introduce you to the kind of people who might.
You should really rework your pitch.
Why bother? We both know what it is, don't we? So let's cut through the bullshit. They're tired of slumming it outside. It's ugly, polluted, scary.
Sounds like you should do something about that then.
Oh, that's what this is, Mr. Washington. Think of it like a job interview.
That I didn't apply for?
Nomination, then. A number of your clients and potential clients, I might add, would love to elect you to a kind of new office.
Is that right? Secretary of Ganja Affairs, Director of 420 Services, Marijuana King.
I'll take those titles for advisement. But for now, I'd love to invite you to a tour of our facilities.
My Green Zone pass is only good for a couple of hours, so.
It's good for however long I say it is.
Okay. But I'm not agreeing to anything.
Of course not. Just a look around.
All right. Lead the way.
Oh. That's a good one. I don't lead tours.
Outside, Terrell walks a few paces behind a floating white drone.
All right, Siri. So where we go head
Please
to
do not
first?
call me Siri.
What should I call you?
I am a service drone on the Green Zone network, just like your Wi-Fi, smart fridge, or climate control. These things do not need a name. We are our function.
And what is that?
You can speak, I will listen. If you need assistance, I will provide it.
So you're always listening?
Always.
Even when people are, you know.
Are you implying sexual intercourse with that gesture?
Damn, Siri. Yeah.
This is the second time I have to ask you not to call me Siri.
You right. You right. Alexa?
No,
Cortana?
no.
Janet?
The drone's lights swirl as if it is rolling its eyes.
Damn, you're really mad.
I am part of an artificial neural network designed to facilitate human needs. I cannot be mad, but it should be enough to respect me because that is the human thing to do. But you may call me Miss Jackson if you are nasty.
Ooh, okay, I fuck with you, Miss Jackson.
Thank you, Tier O.
Terrell and Miss Jackson enter a dispensary.
Welcome to the White Rabbit, Tier O, one of Zone 17's most popular dispensaries for its curated sensory experience. We are in the Touch Room.
Montage of red-eyed, well-dressed white people writhing in bliss. Some drool, some cry, some orgasm.
What kind of weed they smoking?
The White Rabbit specializes in synthetic blends that heighten sensory experiences. Would you like to see the Taste Room?
Nah, I'm good. Y'all got some normal weed? Y'all got
Terrell
some.
and Miss Jackson enter another dispensary.
We have arrived at the Danger Zone, Tier O.
The danger zone boasts enclosed booths of people in the throes of paranoid terror as holograms and speakers facilitate their living nightmares.
Yo, what the actual fuck?
The Danger Zone specializes in synthetic blends that heighten paranoia. Residents pay a premium to enjoy safe, curated fearcations.
Fearcations.
It's all one word, fearcation.
Terrell and Miss Jackson enter another dispensary.
Welcome to Crave. Yum. Tier O.
Crave Yum customers eat elaborate meals. It stinks loud through the screen. A few diners twist orgasmically in their seats. Others teeter. One falls into his generously pestoed linguine.
Where do the normal people get their weed?
We've seen a statistically representative sample of recreational marijuana using residents.
So, where are the people who smoke at home?
Outside of the green zone, smoking and other pollutants are permitted in specialized areas outfitted with appropriate refiltration systems.
So, you telling me that all the big wigs in the green zone can't smoke unless they go to one of those fucking ganja carnivals?
Ganja, Carnival. Thank you, Tyrell. I have flagged this theme for a new dispensary.
Terrell returns to Cass's office.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Hell no.
Feel free to elaborate.
That sounds like work.
You're a hardworking man.
And I get paid for my labor.
Cass smiles. Terrell's new apartment. It's got bougie bones, classic intent, ratchet manifestation. Tupac and Scarface posters hover beneath superficial, exposed beams. State-of-the-art appliances frame an impressive collection of brown liquor. Miss Jackson hovers through the house. The drone has been tricked out. Her previous aesthetic has been replaced with gold and diamond drip. She plays Move Bitch, Get Out the Way by Ludacris and Mystical.
Good morning, Tyrell.
Miss Jackson, it's been 2 months. You should be able to say my own name by now.
Say your name 3 times in different tones for my audio capture program.
Terrell. Terrell. Terrell.
It looked like the unique pronunciation conflicts with my resident comfort programming. There has been an override.
Resident comfort programming.
Yes, my network is present throughout all Green Zone properties and areas. To facilitate the comfort of our residents, I am unable to produce alarming stimuli,
Alarming?
like yelling fire in a movie theater when there is, in fact, no fire.
Miss Jackson, that's some bullshit.
I flagged your concerns for review, Tier O.
Do you have to call me by my name, or can we use a nickname?
Yes, I can use a nickname to refer to you.
I know just the one.
Terrell's new dispensary's grand opening.
Introducing Ganja King Washington.
Yo, I'm so happy to officially cut the ribbon on High Ground.
A montage of ads displaying high ground emblazoned alongside Terrell's face. Cass smiles, watching from her office before returning to a conference table.
Look, I have to say it. But your experiment is sticking up the lab, Cassandra.
Small price to convert lead to gold.
Don't piss on me and call it rain.
I would never. You're not my type.
Heartbreaking. Surely, but seriously, the residents don't feel safe at high ground. I just like knowing it's more genuine. So, give the good people what they want, or
Or what? You'll fire me?
let's not get rash, huh? We can just buy him out and loan the space and supply to White Rabbit.
You're right. I'll take care of it.
Gas?
Meeting's adjourned, unless you have anything useful to add.
Well,
No, you don't. So I'm going to get back to work and you can get back to settling out of court with your secretaries.
Next morning, Terrell opens his eyes as Miss Jackson plays "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way." His home has swollen with ratchet affluence, a marble Hennessy sculpture. Ludacris's magnum opus spills from a sprawling turntable and massive speakers. Jet Beauties of the Month scroll through a virtual triptych on 3 floor-to-ceiling screens.
Snooze.
You have a 9 a.m. meeting with Cass.
Come on, girl. Snooze.
You will be late.
Fashionably late.
The music gets even louder.
Miss Jackson.
Your request has triggered an override.
Come on, girl. Why are you overriding me?
It wasn't me, Tier Earl.
Now you calling me Tier Earl again.
Ganja King.
Thank you, Miss Jackson.
An administrator override will trigger anti-snooze protocols in 5, 4.
Anti
3,
snooze
2,
protocol can kiss my
1.
black ass.
The temperature controls in Terrell's apartment. The heating begins to soar. The screens flicker away from scantily clad women to frowning old men. The Green Zone Board of Directors. The turntables spin until the music scratches even as the volume ticks up louder.
Damn, Miss Jackson, I'm getting up. I'm getting up.
Cass's voice emits from Miss Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Washington. I'm looking forward to our meeting.
Did you hijack Miss Jackson?
I was surprised to receive a notification that someone at this address attempted to snooze your alarm.
The big brother is this bullshit.
We have an important meeting.
I got half a mind to take my sweet time getting there.
Oh, feel free. I'm happy to make use of every possible resource to help you get there on time.
Don't even think about it. Matter of fact, I want all your overrides and this shit out of my house.
Interesting. Our overrides and shit aren't anywhere near your house. Our overrides and shit remain inside of our tech in our property, including our penthouse that we're generously making available to you, free of charge.
Look, you would go have to get your ass out my face if you want me to be there at 9 a.m. And get out of Miss Jackson while you at it.
See you soon, Mr. Washington.
I am sorry, Ganja King. I went offline for 78 seconds. I am performing a maintenance now.
No, Miss Jackson, you good. It was an administrative override.
Terrell approaches Cass as she drinks coffee at a Parisian-style inspired cafe.
You owe Miss Jackson an apology.
I haven't had enough coffee to entertain hood cones, Mr. Washington.
I haven't had enough coffee for your bullshit.
And you never will. I won't keep you long. I know you're a busy man. I've got another proposition for you, Mr. Washington.
Hell, you can keep that.
You said that the last time.
You inspire a consistent response in me.
But eventually you saw reason, and I made you very rich.
I was already rich.
Rich out there is still poor. When's the last time you've been? Did the air quality make you feel rich? How about the potholes and the hurricanes?
You're the fucking devil.
Then eat the apple, Eve. You know you want to.
What do you want?
I want to give you something. Someone, actually.
She fishes a drone from her bag. It looks similar to Miss Jackson.
Meet Tanner.
hello.
Tanner bobs alongside Miss Jackson before gently fluttering to the ground and projecting a hologram image of a light-skinned black man very similar in appearance and affect to boat shoes.
Miss Jackson, you didn't tell me you could do that.
I do not have any available updates. Perhaps I should schedule a maintenance.
No, we're beta testing new hardware. Tanner is one of the prototypes. Eventually, we'll fade out the older model.
Well, me and Miss Jackson are good. Why don't you see if White Rabbit needs a house nigga?
Interesting that you bring up White Rabbit, because that's exactly why I come bearing gifts. High Ground is doing well, really well. I'd love to help you expand. Another location, maybe even other zones. Staffing. Tanner is here to help round out your staffing while complementing your special je ne sais quoi. He can do everything that your current drone can while adapting to and mirroring the subtleties with greater fidelity and nuance.
You lost me at interesting.
What's the Ganja King's government name?
Tier O Jack Vias Washington.
Tanner, what's Ganja King's government name?
Terrell Jaquavius Washington.
I can recycle your old model on the way to my office.
Touch Miss Jackson and see what happens.
You've been a part of our community for nearly 6 months, Mr. Washington.
Cass's voice emits from Miss Jackson.
Haven't you learned? I don't have to touch anything.
Later, Terrell exits the green zone carrying that same Louis Vuitton bag every would-be bougie uncle has. Tanner floats behind him.
Stay your ass here.
Terrell approaches an apartment, bangs on the door. A black woman, Blue, opens it.
Yo, I need a favor.
Later, at Higher Ground, Tanner assists customers as Terrell lingers in his conversation with a customer.
I hear you. You're high-powered, kids at home, old dude breathing up all the air. Let me help you relax.
Tanner turns and watches.
Now, I got just the thing for you. It's just like me. Smooth, but got a little kick to it. Goes down easy.
Terrell lifts the pen to the customer's lips and holds it for her like a 1920s film star lighting a starlit cigarette.
Now, don't that feel good? Let's get you all set up.
Tanner mirrors Terrell's body language.
I just have the thing for you. It's just like me, caramel sweet, and it just wants to help you feel good.
Another day at High Ground, Terrell watches as Tanner talks up an older white man.
Yes, sir, of course. Now, you probably know better than me, but I'm inclined to think that a man who appreciates a good Merlot might appreciate the subtle notes of this blend.
You're a good boy.
Thank you, sir.
The older white man takes his bounty and mean mugs Terrell. The door rings for new customers, a huddle of white frat boys.
Hey, Uncle Tom. Let me holler at you for a minute.
Are you referring to me?
Yeah, bring your ass over here. You're gonna have to cut that yes, sir, and the my dude shit, all right? This is a chill space, a safe space. It's like one of the most important philosophers of the past century said, them motherfuckers go low, we go high.
I'm sorry, my dude, but your request has encountered an administrator override. According to customer biometrics, I make customers more comfortable than you. I cannot adapt to behavior that disrupts resident comfort.
Fuck resident comfort. This is my store.
The store belongs to the Green Zone, Terrell Jaquavius Washington. You retain the rights to your intellectual property only.
That's my intellectual property on the door, ain't it?
Yes?
Then take your ass out of my intellectual property.
I'm sorry, my dude, but your request has triggered an administrator override.
Uh-huh. What do my biometric indicators tell you?
Your temperature and cortisol levels are rising. Your muscles are tightening in your right arm. Your hands are balling into fists. Your shoulders are rising.
Yeah, all that means you got 5 seconds to get the fuck out my face.
You should know something about my programming, Terrell Jaquavius Washington. I cannot allow you or anyone else to damage Green Zone property. I am Green Zone property.
You can't allow me?
Allow me to put this in a way you might understand, bro. If you feel froggy, leap.
Tanner walks away, then turns.
And Ganja King, it's been 27 seconds.
Miss Jackson,
Yes, Ganja King.
schedule a meeting with Cass ASAP.
Cass doesn't appear to have any availability for the remainder of the calendar year.
All right, y'all. As soon as I've come down with a case of caucasity, the store will be closing for the rest of the day. Y'all should go to the nearest urgent care and get your chef tested. From the looks of it, y'all is terminal.
Terrell races out to Cass's office. He kicks open the door. Cass doesn't even flinch.
You can take the boy out of Brownsville.
I ain't nobody's boy. I don't care how much you step and fetch it.
You're smarter than you look.
Oh, so you thought you were just gonna get over on me?
I figured we had a 50-50 shot.
Well, I got bad news for you. Your integration bot's code switch in masterclass is over. You lose.
The house always wins, Mr. Washington.
I own high ground. And I've had to double check enough fly-by-night lawyers to know how to read a contract. You can't do this shit without my say-so.
That's true. And congratulations, Mr. Washington. You might even have enough capital and time to drag us to court if we tried to franchise High Ground without you.
Bet your edges.
But we don't need High Ground. We needed you, but safe. You, but cleaned up. You, but humble.
Tanner. I didn't need this shit anyway. I'm gonna be out of this offbeat nightmare by the end of the day.
Take all the time you need.
Why? So Tanner can learn how I beatbox? Get the fuck out of here.
Later, Terrell leaves with that same Uncle-ass Louis Vuitton bag. As he walks through the green zone, he passes the shell of High Ground, which is already being redecorated. There are now 3 Tanners. Above them, the new sign lights up to read, "The Black Cat, the Urban THC Experience in Paradise." Terrell approaches the exit and finds Boat Shoes waiting for him.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
He hands Terrell a check and a green zone pass.
Come back anytime if you want to pilot another enterprise.
Boat Shoes goes to pat Terrell on the shoulder, but stops cold as Terrell gives him the look. Terrell gets through security and stares at Boat Shoes for a moment. He opens his bag, and Miss Jackson hovers out of it. Boat Shoes' eyes widen.
Respectfully, you can kiss his black ass.
Get that man, he has our property.
Security alarms fill the space. In the distance, Cass begins to rush over. Multiple drones pipe up with her voice.
Mr. Washington, I hear you're stealing Green Zone property. Do I need to make this a police matter?
Actually, if you review your contract, you'll see all networked devices belong to the green zone. Miss Jackson here isn't on your network anymore. See, while y'all were busy tinkering with Uncle Tom's ads, Miss Jackson followed the drinking gourd. Why don't you tell the plantation how you feel about urban stimuli?
Thank you, Terrell Jaquavius Washington.
Cass arrives. She's tinkering with her smartwatch.
Administrator override. Request denied.
Game recognized game, Mr. Washington.
Terrell nods to Cass as he struts off into the sunset. Miss Jackson gleefully bobs behind him, playing Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way. End of episode.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our presentation part of Melanated Mondays. So we're going to take a quick break and then we will be back with Pammy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So we're going to have a conversation with Pammy Jackson of Psychedelic Sisterhood. Pammy is the founder of Psychedelic Sisterhood, a woman with an X led community dedicated to creating safe spaces for women to rediscover their relationship to the cosmos and the divine feminine through psychedelics. Their expanding capacity to traverse natural femininity, strengthen bonds, and improve perspectives on gender preconceptions, interpersonal trauma, and other limiting beliefs utilizing shadow work. In addition to psychedelic tools, they aim to provide our community with health and wellness courses such as yoga, meditation, dance, and plant-based meal preparation. We believe that healing begins from within, preparatory to psychedelic journey. Pammy, thank you so much for your time.
Hi, thank you for having
Yes.
me. Can
So
you hear me okay?
Sorry? Yeah,
Can
we
you
can hear you
hear me
great.
okay? Yeah, perfect.
Great. Um, so feel free to add onto this introduction. And we'd also love to know what led to the founding of Psychedelic Sisterhood.
Led to the founding of Psychedelic Sisterhood. I'm very new to the psychedelic space, but once I got involved, I recognized there was a need for very specific spaces that weren't provided. I'm not sure if either of you are into psychedelics or have a psychedelic community, but it's a very male-dominated space. And when I would encounter women in the space, they would consistently say like, oh, I need a space where I feel comfortable speaking about certain things that, I can't talk to, well, not that you can't, but didn't feel comfortable speaking about with men around or in a co-ed spaces. And I wanted to provide that and to make sure people felt heard and seen and felt comfortable in a non-judgmental space.
Okay, great. So I wanted to open up some questions to everybody. So that includes you, Pammy, and Akemini, and Tim. So I wanted to ask, in the Green Zone episode Upgrade, we see how pharmaceutical corporate interests intersect with technology to create steep barriers to access. The playwright drew inspiration from ongoing efforts around medical, therapeutic, and recreational applications of marijuana, ketamine, LSD, in addition to the high cost of insulin and other barriers to access. Have you seen these themes in your work with regards to accessibility, stigma, regulation, and treatment?
Yeah, for sure. As far as like regulation goes, I think it goes along the same routes of how, certain other like, prescribed medications are regulated. And it's interesting because it's something that isn't very, sorry, you might hear my cat.
That's okay.
All of a sudden she's done with her nap.
Cutie.
There is a space where psychedelics are becoming legalized and decriminalized, and I feel in a lot of these spaces where there's a lot of regulation where people aren't allowed to grow them and like distribute them, and if it's like a chemical substance, they're not allowed to manufacture them. But if it's legal, you should be able to do whatever you need to do. And I think and not just from a medical sense, because I come from a very like space where I use psychedelics for healing, and I speak about that and try to educate people on those modalities. But on another sense, also recreational mushrooms is fine. Like we should be able to do that. And weed is legal in New York City, but we're still like only allowed to grow a certain amount of plants, and we can't sell them. We can gift and gather them, I guess, but it's just like if it's legal, it's legal. So that's a huge hurdle I think we still need to get through. And I know that there's still conversations about the regulations with New York City and cannabis. So I'm hoping it goes in the favor of like legacy farms.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit more about legacy farming?
Legacy farming. So from what I can understand, because I'm not super well versed with cannabis, but from what I understand, there are in New York State, there are cannabis farms that have been producing and have been developing, and other plants too, other natural substances, and are being heavily regulated now that weed is legal. And it kind of changes the production of those farms that are out there already. And I was speaking with someone about this the other day about how they're having to pay, I'm going to say millions, but I'm not sure. I have to fact check on that, but millions to, get licensed to sell. And it's like, you didn't really have that before. And now with the regulation, it seems like, tax money is incorporated into that, which at some point, like some of the tax money goes towards expunging, some, people that have been locked up for having like an ounce, of weed. So it's good that, am I frozen? I'm not frozen, am I?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Like
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay. I was like, oh my God, nobody's moving. I think I froze. What did I leave off?
Oh, you continued right through. So
Oh, okay, perfect.
yeah, we could
Perfect.
hear you perfectly. You were just
Okay,
frozen.
good. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that mama? Okay. Sorry, my cat. So yeah, so I totally lost my space, my
That's
spot.
okay.
Farms and
Yeah, so legacy farms and the regulations and having things be legal and tax money. So the good thing is there's expungement happening with a lot of the people that went to jail for like 20 years for an ounce of like weed. So what's good is that tax goes to that. Well, some taxes go to that. I don't know how much, and I don't know if that's even something that's that we can look up and see exactly how much percentage goes to the state and how much percentage goes to things that are actually useful like that. But yeah, so did I answer your question? Sorry,
Yeah.
that totally.
No, yeah, no, that's very helpful. Thank you. I didn't know a lot about legacy farming, so that was really like a personal question for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess my next question is, drugs is a relatively broad word that can cover medicine, recreational self-care, transformative experiences, addictive substances, or any combination of thereof or more. With the breadth of the term and the stigmas attached to it, what's your number one priority in creating safe spaces for people to navigate psychedelics?
I think my number one priority is definitely creating spaces that are non-judgmental for educational purposes, because there's a lot of stigma still associated with, the word quote unquote drugs, and drugs has like a whole gambit of what it can be. It's a stigmatizing word because it is described for what I like to say plant medicines, even though it's kind of a hippie term now, but I still use it because it differentiates that from like, from cocaine or anything like that, or heroin. But I honestly, yeah, like I don't even know at the end of the day, like I think everything we've learned about quote unquote drugs is hugely manipulated. And I've been hearing like other things like PCP could be beneficial to some degree, which I don't have personal experience with. I'm just, if that's true, then okay. If there are people that are brave enough to try it and do the research, and then so be it. I'm not know if you're familiar with Dr. Carhart, but he's famous for speaking about all drugs, all substances, and saying everything has its space. And if we're going to regulate things, it should be regulated like, and this is going to be like a touchy subject, but firearms, because firearms is super easy to get, and basically they're legal and you can use them recreationally, you can use them to hunt, there's a lot of different options for that. So the fact that substances that you can grow are so like heavily regulated is kind of like bananas. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it in the context of like regulating firearms, which, are their one purpose is to injure and or kill.
Yeah.
They have a very
It's a tricky
singular.
one. It's a tricky
Yeah.
correlation with that.
Yeah.
It's not including myself, not a lot of people like guns. I know I don't like them. I know they are necessary in some circumstances. People do hunt in certain places, which is fine. But personally, not a fan.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
some, sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I just want to get one quick personal question in here, Pammy.
Mhm.
I've been learning about psychedelic sisterhood for a little bit and understanding you guys' mission. And it's so unique and it's so lovely. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure that there's collectives around the world that are trying to get into something as similar as you guys. But for me, in my experience, you are kind of like a real big outlet of helping me understand psychedelics in a new way. And I attribute you to being the person that helped me understand what they can do for certain communities.
Mhm.
I think I just want to ask you, when personally did you have an aha moment of understanding? Oh, I understand I personally, enjoy psychedelics. I understand the stigma that they have, but having this nuance of understanding how they can impact communities, particularly Black
Mhm.
communities, and particularly
Mhm.
communities specifically with women that you described in positive ways. When was that moment for you? And was there like a progress process of you trying to give this information to the people? I guess I'm trying as simply as I can put it.
Yeah, no, a lot of questions in there. That was a really, really great set of questions. I'll start with the aha moment about psychedelics. I super straight laced growing up. I grew up in like a Christian community. Everything that wasn't God was considered the devil and demons. So drugs and alcohol were basically you're possessed by demons because of what the way it made you act. So growing up in that very strict environment, did not have any, experiences with anything, even like, I wouldn't say like lesser substances like alcohol and cigarettes, but nothing at all. So it wasn't until I came to New York and kind of got out of that community. And my aha moment was, honestly, I was at the end of my rope as far as my mental health. I wasn't encouraged to go to talk therapy. It was considered, something that I didn't need. I would either, pray about it and it'd be fine. That was my that was my only mental health, navigation growing up at home. So my aha moment was like, I have no other choice, because I did start doing talk therapy and I couldn't get to the spaces I needed to do the work I needed, because the things that I had were so deep in my like subconscious that I couldn't access them. So and then I was hearing like friends that were talking about psychedelics, and I was like, all right, well, and then one person in particular talking about ayahuasca, and ayahuasca particularly is one where people say, hey, you take this and it's like 10 years of therapy in a night. So I was like, well, sign me up. It sounded terrifying, like the experience, but because it's very visual, it's kind of you're nauseous for half the time, and you might purge, which purging means you might vomit, but purging can also be by burping or anything like that. But vomiting is probably most likely, which no one likes to do. So I was kind of at the end of my rope, and like the benefits outweighed the things that terrified me, and that kind of was my aha moment. I was like, all right, if there's this thing that's there, then let me do this, and I did it, and it totally flipped my world around. 100%, like changed my perspective on everything, even religion, because when I left the community, the Christian community, I decided I was going to be atheist, and I was atheist for like 4 or 5 years, and I had the psychedelic experience, and I want to say come to Jesus moment, but it wasn't Jesus. It was like something else. It was like, I don't know if all of you believe in God or not, but there is this trigger word for me. When I hear God, I'm just like, because of my Christian past that was forced. But when I had the experience, the God that I felt was so all encompassing that it felt like what I was taught was like so minuscule compared to what it actually was.
Mm.
And it totally revamped my whole like spiritual, I guess, growth. And I think I went off on a tangent, but but yeah, that's been my aha moment.
So
And I forget another question you asked.
no. You curate. You kind kind of curate and help other people through a similar journey that you kind of just expressed for yourself.
100%. And that's how I got into what I'm doing now is I became part of a community because I needed to integrate and I didn't know how to do it. And I found a community, was able to integrate. And I noticed that integration was something that a lot of people weren't getting and needed to have help and like guidance with. So like naturally, I felt myself called to help people through that process, whether it's in the beginning, talking to people about proper diet before, embarking on like a psychedelic journey, during, setting, intentions so that when you're going into it, you're not just doing it willy-nilly. You actually were like, I'm doing it for this thing, because it's a harrowing process and it can potentially be traumatizing. So if you're not having the proper space with yourself, holding space for your own self, it could be detrimental to your mental health versus, being helpful. And then afterward, after the journey, the integration process, which is and this is where it's getting into like, what worries me about legalizing some substances is I'm worried that the big pharmaceutical companies will say, hey, we have a magic pill, you're depressed, we can give this to you and you'll take it and you'll be fine. But it's like, no, that's like half the battle. The other half is integration. You have to really like develop like a practice of, looking at the things that come up and working with those things. Because a lot of things will come up. And that happened to me in my first year. So many things came up and I did not know how to process, and it kind of made me wonky. And through finding community, I learned, the proper way to integrate and to talk things out and how to process things. And yeah, so I'm hoping to make sure people know that integration is really important, and that's much more important than just the psychedelic itself.
So you're arguably like a rebirth doula.
The what? The rebirth duo? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think that's what I love the most about psychedelics is that like you can go your whole life with this very specific perspective, understanding things from one angle. And sometimes psychedelics will bring you out of that and be like, oh no, here's the whole thing. And you can turn it around and look at multiple different perspectives. And in doing that, you're able to, if you have something that you need to solve or something that you're interested in, like, looking at, you can see it from a space that you never thought possible.
Oh, great. Okay. Gosh, our last question of the evening, unless somebody has anything to add, and that may come up, but the last question that I have written down to talk to you about is, some of the pieces from tonight's event deal with how certain regulatory structures limit access to objectively beneficial drug use. How can people navigate this complicated regulatory landscape to meet their needs?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I'm not sure I have the answer for, but
Okay.
yeah, it's tough because regulation deeply does not depend on the people that need it.
Mm.
It's very from one side, and I'm trying to figure out how to actually. Okay, Luna's gonna figure it out. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of the regulation really just prevents people in general from getting the access because it's so harrowing, which is interesting because pharmaceuticals, the Florida opioid epidemic, like that was like something that wasn't really regulated at all, and no one thinks anything about opioids. But when it comes to like, oh, mushrooms can actually help my mental health, and it's like, oh no, we need to lots of red tape. And it's like, all right, guys, like what's really going on? But I'm really sincerely hoping that regulations change. And I think right now, psilocybin it's on a fast track, I think, to becoming either decriminalized or legalized in New York City or New York State. I think it's legal in New Jersey, I believe. Which I think I just read a headline.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know they're doing recreational marijuana in New Jersey,
Yeah,
so
because if
it
that's the
could.
case, seeing dispensary soon. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so if we can have like a fast track on that, like having that to be decriminalized and have that conversation, it's going to open up a whole new world, and for like therapies too.
Mhm.
And that to me, that's very exciting, because I feel like it's a space where, and I'll give you like a very quick story about a friend of mine who was going to talk therapy, and she was going for years, and she just couldn't like get to certain spaces, kind of like similar to what I was telling you earlier about myself. And she got the okay from her therapist. Her therapist was not a psychedelic therapist, regular therapist. Got the okay to start taking psilocybin, like microdosing. And the microdosing helped her to open pathways to different things that she could bring up during therapy, and she had so much more of a breakthrough with her sessions. And like if we can just start there, like that'll be like amazing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, hoping regulations aren't so strict on that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any other questions for Pammy?
Go ahead, Tim, I saw you over there.
Oh, I was just going to ask if Kimberly, if she had any questions for you, Pam.
I don't have any. I don't have any questions. I'm just happy that we have got the chance to talk to you and listen to.
Oh yes, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you all for like, being patient with my internet and and being really interested and having me as a speaker to, hopefully, educate more people, because I DARE, the DARE campaign from the 80s still plagues people's minds. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's a generational thing or I don't know, but it's, yeah, right?
Yeah, Dare.
So it's something that like, I feel like, okay, well, what is your experience with DARE? Because I know mine was just like a ton of like, just like, no.
I feel like my school might have been like the last school in America
Yeah.
to like stop doing DARE.
Oh my gosh.
Because like, yeah, no, actually, because this was like 2008 that I had DARE in my school,
Oh, wow.
and my younger siblings had
2008, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Wait, what?
Took a little break, but it's back now. It took a
It's
subsidized break.
That's crazy.
Wait, I thought I died in like 86.
No, I had DARE in 5th grade, and that was like 2008.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea.
So,
It is back.
and yeah, it was just like, no. Like
Mhm.
I remember the story that sticks out to me about when I had DARE was they told us about a kid who huffed paint and died the very first time he huffed paint. That was the thing that sticks from my DARE experience.
Wow. Huff and paint and die. I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know
But
either.
I'm not an expert.
You guys remember the Seventh Heaven episode where they were huffing paint?
Oh my gosh, yes. Wow, you put me down memory lane right now.
Yeah, all of those very special episodes that happened in like the 90s, early 2000s
Yeah. Oh my
about
God.
drugs.
Yeah,
Oh,
at some point, every like sitcom did a whole like drug thing, right? It was like,
Mhm.
say no to drugs. What was it? Was it not Punky Brewster? What was the girl's name from Full House? Was it Dee Dee? Didn't she have a drug thing too? A drug episode?
I think so.
Saved by the Bell did.
Saved by the Bell did.
Saved by the Bell.
Moesha did. I watched. I was
Ah.
rewatching Moesha recently, and they had a drugs episode, a marijuana episode.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Weed. Oh my God. He's happy. Whoa.
You have a very fun event coming up on the 19th. Am I correct?
Oh, yes. So I joined forces with a few psychedelic groups here in New York City. It's Brooklyn Psychedelic Society, Long Island Psychedelic Society, even New Jersey City Psychedelic Society is coming through as well. And we're all putting together a bicycle day event. No, it says it's gonna rain on Tuesday, so I don't know if we're gonna be riding bicycles, but if you guys are familiar, bicycle day is like the acid holiday.
Hmm.
The chemist intentionally took acid and took a bike ride home because he thought he was dying. But then during his bike ride, he was like, oh, wait, this is actually very pleasurable, and had like the most psychedelic, amazing bike ride of his life. And that kind of like started the bicycle day, observance, I guess.
Oh.
But yeah, so we're going to do a bike ride if it's not too rainy. And then afterward, we're going to do a watch party for another event. I'm doing a panel for a mushroom symposium. It's a event in Troy. It's like a independent radio station, but we're going to be doing that. So if you guys are around, you guys want to do some bike rides, you want to like, and we're going to
Where
have
is
like,
this going to be in New York?
so we're starting having our bike ride in Prospect Park at
Okay.
4. And then, sorry, I like told you no details. And then after the bike ride at 6:37ish, we're going to Refuge Arch, which is like an event space in Brooklyn, not far from Herbert Von King, if you're familiar with Bed-Stuy. And it's on Vernon Street. And we're going to have like an event there with refreshments, and tongue in cheek, we're going to have mushroom pizza for the mushroom symposium. And yeah, so we're just going to chill and have like a nice community hang after our bike ride, refresh, and hopefully I'll be able to bring some fruit and watch the panel. So yeah, everyone's invited.
Yeah, that sounds super fun. I actually do have some like closing questions, which we ask
Yes.
all of our guests.
Okay.
Question 1, what should every member of our community know about this topic?
What should we know about this topic? I would like to touch on integration for sure. And I know it's about drugs, but I'm such a psychedelic person, so I'm in the psychedelic space.
Yeah, please.
But integration. I can't explain that enough, because I just want to make sure people understand that psychedelics are not a cure, or a substance. They are a substance that bring things up, and it's up to you to take it to where you need to go. And integration really helps with that.
Okay, great. And so, sorry, can you explain a little bit more about what exactly integration means?
Yeah. Sorry, Tim, what'd you say?
Oh yeah, just for me personally, and also our audiences, to help them understand the integration process.
Yeah, absolutely. So integration can be anything from having a psychedelic therapist, a counselor, or a talk therapy, or you can have your own integration with yourself by just kind of like writing down your experience, speaking to someone you trust about your experience, and setting goals with what you've came up with in your psychedelic journey, and things that you know that you want to work on. I know it could be a habit to like have, a lot of recreational experiences and be like, I don't know, something weird came up, but whatever. But sometimes that can like stay, in your subconscious. And if you're not like looking at it, it could come up later. But that's essentially is what integration is basically taking what you learned and figuring out a way of how to integrate that into the rest of your life, or the coming days of afterward.
Thank you. So my next question is, what's an action item you'd like us all to pursue, and why?
Oh, an action item. I would encourage everyone, since I spoke about this earlier, I would encourage everyone to look up the expungement movement right now, because even though it's in the process as far as like New York City's legal cannabis space, I think it's a little bit more slow moving than I think it should be. But I don't do all of that work, so I can't say. I'm piss people off because they're like, "Oh, we're doing the work." But I would encourage everyone to just familiarize yourselves with the laws of legalization, just to be on the safe side of of the law, because you don't want to keep everyone straight laced and okay and safe out there.
All right, thank you. And also, aside from your wonderful event you said on the what day?
4/19
On the 19th.
Yes.
How can they learn more about you?
Yeah, well, you can go to my Instagram. It's at Psychedelic Sisterhood. Wait, about me or about my organization?
About you, about your organization.
I apologize. I am
No, either or, and whatever.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Either or, yourself or your organization or both.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm largely deeply entrenched in my organization right now. So yeah, you can definitely go to the Psychedelic Sisterhood at Instagram. About me, I'm trying my best to be more personable about being part of the organization. Right now, it's kind of like, here's the organization, and I don't show my face. So I'm trying to get better at that, just so it's just more familiar. It's not just like, this, entity. I think that serves much better as far as what, I'm trying to do and trying to, like, help people with, their experiences. I think that's a little bit better. And hopefully, don't be so shy about that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Pammy.
thank
And thank
you.
you to everyone who stayed for a discussion. And thank you to all of our wonderful actors. We are Black Revolutionary Theater Workshop. You can find us on thebrtw.org, which is also where you can find ways to donate to us to attend our other events as they arise, and also our Writer's Block series, which is going to be every other Monday. We've moved it from Tuesdays to Mondays. Um, and yeah, we have a podcast called Black Revolutionary Media, where we'll put out the people who have done work for our writers, or not writer's block. What's it called? The thing.
Now, a cohort.
Revolution Now.
Uh,
Yeah. Revolution Now. Yeah. Revolution Now cohort members will put out the recordings that we've done. You can find this recording on YouTube or Facebook, where you can find them. And old episodes you can find on our Patreon, which is the BRTW, patreon.com/the BRTW. And yeah, just come check us out. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. You can find out all of that information by going to the brtw.org. All right. Thank you all so much. And I will talk to you later.
Thank you guys
Bye.
all.